Episode 4, D4G.
Dive in it. Dive in it. Dive in it. Dive in it.
What do you think about them?
Dive in it. Dive in it. Glory. Dive in it. Dive in it. Glory. Dive in it. Glory.
This journalist, that journalist. Some respect on my name. Yeah, welcome back. Episode 4, Season 2, Diving for Glory. Bonjour. Je m'appelle Diving for Glory, back at you. Week 4. I'm your host, Corciola. Mr. Pep Corciola, man. Put some respect. Thought I told you.
Mr. Pep Corciola.
3 times over, sir. Sir Solomon, what up?
Nada.
Alright, man. This week, let's get into it. We got Mourinho versus Pochettino, Ancelotti versus the old friends in AC Milan, the other Barcelona team with a pretty big win. Bayern get off to a shaky start. Also, EPL review, big game reviews where we are going to look at interesting results of the big 5 Euro leagues that we had not covered, and also Champions League playoff second legs coming at you this week. The draw is this week too, I believe, at the end of the week.
Yes, this is Ajax is actually currently playing Dynamo Kiev, but that's neither here nor there.
Sir Solomon, eager to get to the end of the show.
Basically.
All right, man. Finally, we will chat a little bit about La Liga coming to the United States, and as always, our prestigious and egregious D4G award section. As mentioned before, we are enhancing Diving for Glory a bit this year, so please stay tuned as we will be posting every Monday on either iTunes, YouTube, or divingforglory.com. You can also find us on Twitter at Diving for Glory and Facebook as well. Follow, hashtag, subscribe, like, retweet, do all that. All right. One more week before international break, man. Focus. Glory is within the nose here. Just the cup. Jerseys tug, boost, lace, Diving for Glory. Let's go. Well, I think it's mighty right that we start with our good buddy. Word up. Huge match. And because this is a rare posting on a Tuesday, we get to talk about the Monday game, which was United hosting Tottenham. Tell us about it, Sir Solomon.
I think Mauricio Pochettino's audition for the job of Manchester United manager went quite well.
Got a little stronger after his performance last year.
Yeah. After the first half that Manchester United actually had the better chances, Tottenham Mourinho. They countered the fuck out of that shit.
Yeah. Yep. Killed him.
2 minutes in the second half just completely destroyed them. They all, Tottenham looked sharper, but right before the goal was scored, both teams at either end had a chance in the 48th and 47th minute.
Yeah.
But once the Harry Kane wonder goal went in, it looked like the team just quit.
Well, let's rewind a little bit. First half, I mean, at what point do people really start saying, damn, we need to replace Lukaku?
He has been an automatic starter this season.
He played 50 games last year or something. Dude does not get a rest.
If you look at the number of shots Manchester United took all across the field, like the 23-9, and Lukaku had led everybody with 5 shots. And nothing. This is like many games now. It's like a bunch of shots, you know. Jesse Lingard, 4 shots, nothing. Alexis Sanchez, 3 shots, nothing. And this is the list of everybody, not just Manchester United players, you know.
Yep.
On the Tottenham team, Harry Kane has 2 shots. Lucas Moura has 2 shots, which end up being 2 goals. Harry Kane has a goal and an assist.
Yep.
Eriksson has 2 shots, and Dele Alli has 3 shots. Efficient execution by one team.
So my overall impression of the game is that it really wasn't like a 3-0, even though it was. It really wasn't from the run of play. Mourinho has a narrative that he's trying to pitch here that, you know, they played excellent, they tactically did not lose the game or whatnot. And so I wanted to look deeper into that.
I don't understand that he wasn't really 3-0. Could you elaborate on that?
I mean, from what I saw.
When you draw up a game plan that's supposed to defend and counterattack and you execute it just because your stats don't look it, like that's what they set out to do.
No. But I mean, come on. Lukaku has to score that. Like
he does, but like he got picked. They do their thing. Like they're gonna miss some chances too. You know, like he just who executed better. Like they got broke on a lot, even though they had their chances.
True, but I still think there is some tangible evidence to his point. They looked, to the eye test, they looked a more active United team. Luke Shaw was probably the best game I've ever seen him play, honestly. He was lively, active, and
Absolutely.
He was the dude.
I agree on that.
But they certainly were in attack mode, which is a criticism of Mourinho. But to your point, like you said, 23 shots, 5 on target. Like
exactly.
It wasn't
they
like
tied on shots on target. It took Tottenham 9 shots to get 5 on target.
Yep.
It took them 23. They had 12 fucking shots just go wherever the fuck they wanted, dude.
Yep.
And I get what you're saying in terms of the run of play, and Manchester United had more possession and better chances in the first half. But the game is not the first half. What happens after you get scored on? Like, these are all parts of, like, where you have to look at the whole package. Like, you can't just remove the moments where they got fucked up and be like, other than that, we had a good game.
It was 3 times as fun a game as I was expecting going in.
Absolutely.
Because Man United was more active. And I didn't think they necessarily folded as in an attacking sense. They folded in a defensive sense. Every center back, and I wanted to ask you if you thought this was almost by design that he put out the lineup that he did, but every single center back that he ran out there, all 3 of them, so-called center backs,
and he played,
got worked.
No. But he also played under Herrera as a center back by choice, not injury, not nothing. Like
he did it on purpose.
Yes, because after the game he was asked, "Do you know who your defense is?" And he was like, "No." Like, you've been here more than 2 years. How do you not know your starting defenders? Like, it's like, this is what I was telling you about with the offense the other time, where he'll just take out, like, where was it that he played Juan Mata and Anthony Martial together when both of them have not played a lot of football last week, right?
Yep.
So now he does the same thing on defense. So it's like, dude, know your fucking team. Like, that's the first thing you have to do. Like, you can go to any other team in the Premier League.
Is this sabotage? This is
I don't know.
sabotage?
But do you know that Manchester United, out of every fucking team in the Premier League, plays the least of their football in the last third of the game, like in the offensive third of the whole fucking league
this year?
This season, since it started.
Yeah.
Like, they're not being fucked up by accident. The Leicester game, they should have lost. They should actually be 0-3 right now. They should not be 1-2.
So what I found interesting about these stats, though, and this hammers home more of your point here, going through them, right? Like, United dominated in numbers, and then you get to the very end of these stats, and you see that Tottenham had 16 tackles to United 6.
Yes, this is what I want to talk about.
United was dispossessed 19 times to Tottenham's 5. Tottenham with 21 interceptions. I mean, that's
but
just
if you look at, I wanted to go
football.
back and look at the 19-5 dispossessions. Every single Manchester United player outside of Chris Smalling and David De Gea was dispossessed. Most at least twice.
Yeah.
Okay? On the other team, Moussa Dembele, 1 dispossession. Harry Kane, 2 dispossessions. Lucas Moura, 1 dispossession. That's it.
That's it, yeah.
And Harry Winks off the bench loses the ball once.
Yeah.
How can you compete in games against professionals when you're giving the ball up at a rate of 4 times their, you know?
Yeah, it looked sloppy. I mean, and it was like, oh,
Because
man,
they don't
we're gonna
have an offensive game plan. It's like, find Pogba, boom.
So then this is the other question, right? Like, so much of today is about narrative and like who can spin things a particular way, and clearly Mourinho is upset about not getting a center back in the transfer window. But I look at the team and I look at the talent. Is Mourinho right though?
No.
So then the question becomes: if you put the right
Mourinho
coach, if you put the right coach on this team, when you look at the team on paper, what's the ceiling for this team? Do they compete for the title with this current roster that they have? I'm not saying Mourinho didn't.
Let me start from the beginning, so that it's not like law, like yes or no answers. I want to get into it.
Yep.
So, to shit on this club as the players that they have, when they played Leicester, who lost Riyad Mahrez and almost came close to fucking them up. Yep. And then a week later played Blah Blah, who have nobody, and they fucked up by Hove, by Jay-Z and Hove. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And now they lost to the team that has not signed, the only team in the whole Premier League that has not signed a single player in the summer.
Premier League history.
Sorry. Yes, I'm sorry to downplay that. So, like, when I would understand if he was like, oh, look, Chelsea, they beat me, but they got Jorginho in the, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
That part is kind of null and void to me. Secondly, you're playing players out of position by choice. Right?
Yep.
So, they better perform.
Yep.
Bailey
was,
you're talking
was
about
available, right?
No. You're talking about Lukaku not being a starter, right? Who comes on as a sub? Not even Rashford. Marwan Fellaini. When they're chasing a game, they bring in Marwan Fellaini over fucking Marcus Rashford.
Marion Fellaini had a fucking cross in this game. He was not on the other end. He delivered a cross. I've never seen him deliver a cross outside of FIFA.
He's not like, what is he doing out there?
Exactly, what is he doing out there? That was perfect. So really, in my personal opinion, what's happened here is that there has been no rhyme and reason to the way they put the team together. So you have a very unbalanced team. You have a lot of people that don't have very specific roles.
I get that.
And you're missing. They obviously need to do something about the back line. It's been unaddressed. The players that Mourinho brought in.
Let me ask you a question. Leicester, championship team. Chelsea's last championship team. Forget the city teams because they're loaded.
Yep.
How much more talent than this current Manchester United team do they have in the 25-man roster?
Talent-wise, yeah. No,
exactly. That's what I mean when I was like saying, can they compete under somebody else? Well, not right now because this team is demoralized. But if you give it to somebody, like Antonio Conte, for example, like for a season, if he had this team, I could see him work his magic. He'll give just like Mourinho.
Even with the back line? Even with the players they got on the back
He'd play more players in the back. Like, you just play three and then like have everybody stay back and just play a fucking defensive system that's not dependent on individuals. Because this is the problem with Mourinho, is that his defense is based on a lot of individual, basically magnificence or whatever. And right now the guys he have don't, like, even if you look down to Lindelof and Eric Bailey, who he took off because they got fucked up last week, right? Lindelof, Bailey, Chris Smalling, all these people are defenders that play good with another defender. Now he has like none of, so you have to try to figure out different solutions. Maybe Ashley Young to lead them, or like different things. But what they have right now is not working.
Yeah, what he did yesterday, lineup wise, was a joke.
It's atrocious. How about the game before when he had Pereira with,
I was like, where did this?
He had Pereira.
Did they sign him this year?
Who we don't even fucking know. Anthony Martial and Juan Mata last week, and they how can a team get rhythm when they're the only ones that are like, he's rotating like they're in the championship final, the Champions League final or something at the beginning of the season?
I think reality is that no matter what, before they move on to signing any other players, they need to go ahead and just get a new coach. Like, don't even bother with the players. Get a new coach. Don't fuck around losing Pogba and all that.
Yeah, I read an article on the Independent, and it says, despite like the bookmakers have like raised lowered the odds again on Mourinho getting fired, but they're
just
saying
got the dreaded vote of confidence today.
No, but that's what they're saying, that Ed Woodward wants him to actually fix this. But at the end of this article it says that this is exactly what Roman Abramovich felt in 2015-16. They wanted him to stay around and fix the problem, but like he's gonna get more petulant. He's gonna get more annoying.
Yep.
He's gonna get more offensive. Not on the football field. In his press conferences.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna get fired.
Yep.
And it's gonna be my mutual consent. And he's gonna get his money. That's how Jose Mourinho works. You gotta fucking get him, bring him in, win one championship, get your team in fucking absolute chaos, and pay him a fuckload of money. Full story.
Yeah, that's how it's been every time.
Dude, that press conference?
Oh, I know.
Wow.
I know. Three.
Like, that'd be like Manuel Pellegrini being like, yo, y'all need to respect me. I got more championships. And he's like at West Ham. It's like, dude, you wanted a different club. You can't be at Manchester United losing, bragging about what you won somewhere else, dude.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Who was your... Anyway, what this means, Tottenham is now 3-0, 9 points out of 9. United with 2 losses. I believe first time in the Premier League history that they've lost 2 of their first 3.
Also, Jose Mourinho's biggest defeat in the Premier League.
Is it?
I think so.
Good. Man of the match, I think is an obvious one for me.
How?
For me, Lucas.
Huh?
Lucas.
Oh, okay. I would say Harry Kane. That
His
header was spectacular, and the assist was really nice to Lucas on the second one.
Yep.
And he just seems like he started off as a tap-off artist, and he grew and stuff. And like now, every week it seems like Harry Kane is doing a kind of goal that I haven't like seen from him before. That looping header was fucking spectacular to me.
It was amazing, dude. Yeah.
And it looked like it just broke their backs. Like the timing of it. Lucas has been amazing since they got him, though. I think that that January transfer window move for him really is one of the most underrated Premier League moves we've had in a long time.
He looked potent on the counter, man. Like, looked like a problem. Like, he drilled that pass to Gea, man.
They lucked out on getting him because Lucas was a guy that was projected to go a lot. Yeah, but he was projected to go a lot further than he is right now. Coming out of Brazil when he went to PSG, like he was a Neymar. Mm-hmm. And then like they had him right in the pan a lot. He was inconsistent and stuff. And then the PSG team, they just kept buying offensive players so he couldn't play. Mm-hmm. But he's Daniel Levy did an excellent job with that, especially considering that Son is out in Korea trying to win a championship of some sort so he doesn't go to military service for 18 months. You know that's why, right?
Really?
Yeah, he's going there because they fucked up in the World Cup, and if they do something in some Asia Games or something, then he might get a dispensation to avoid military service. If not, he's gonna be gone, son. Son gonna be gone, son.
Is he from North Korea?
Nope.
It seems like it.
Hey.
All right, man.
Gotta do your national service. Gotta go take taekwondo classes, my nigga.
All right, man. Let's move along from taekwondo to Ulai Ho, Ness's team. Bayern open up their season on a Friday against Hoffenheim, a surprising finisher of the top 4 last year. And this was
a fucking game. Hoffenheim was balled out, to be honest with you. And Bayern lately, the past few years, like most veteran teams, are actually a slow starting team, and they didn't look like themselves.
It looked old as shit, like the team they trotted out.
Yeah, like if you look at the starting 11, it's like, whoa. You got Lewandowski past 30, Muller past 30, Ribéry past 34. Coman on the other side, and then Robin comes on for him because he pulls up. The one young guy that they played pulled up in this game, so Robin had to come on and like increase the age difference.
I'm gonna trip you out on Mueller's 28. I looked this up too because I swore
no,
he was 30.
He's 280. Just the 0. The guy's been around forever. Anyways, the mileage wise, he's 35.
You're right. Mileage, he's got a lot.
The Boateng on defense. Sule is looking good actually. But fucking Hoffenheim in their 3-5-2 really came to play them with Bittencourt and all of them. And really, it was 1-1 until very late, and Hoffenheim balled the F out. They held them until then, and Robert Lewandowski converts a penalty that should never ever be a fucking penalty.
That was about the Ribery?
Yes. And I also find out that Germany does not use VAR.
What?
I thought they were the most.
I thought they did. I thought they called that. I thought they upheld that on VAR.
Oh, even fucking better. I was like, they must not be using VAR.
Yeah, you're like, there's no way, right?
I didn't even because I have the game on mute and I'm watching and I was like,
It was no contact.
Even if there was, is what I'm trying to say is, even if there was, when the dude has started a jump 2 feet before he sees you, and he's in the middle of a spectacular dive, like he wasn't even like you saw him. He chipped that ball and proceeded to jump, like just like the ball. He chipped himself.
Well, that was one of the beefs. Then is that the fact that they looked at that and they upheld that.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
FC Hollywood.
Brutal.
Sieg Heil, Bayern. You guys are some true dictators.
I mean, but man, dude,
that was bullshit.
And it sucks.
You take that away. Like you fucking like if a Hoffenheim guy gets fucking hurt, if it's who the fuck, Jonathan or whoever the fuck their striker is, if he gets done the same move, he's gonna get a yellow card, and he probably already has a yellow card, so he's gonna get fucking sent off. Like Ribery, because he plays for Bayern Munich, gets the benefit of the doubt on, like, it was so bullshit.
So, and
then they topped them off in the 90th, you know?
Yeah. And the average age of the goal scorers was 31. Robin's goal was nice though.
True.
But I mean, what are you looking at from Bayern this year? I mean, we kind of already talked about them. I mean, they still have some.
So Bayern Munich have to answer the Ronaldo question that you asked, you know? Like, who the fuck cares if you win the Bundesliga again? Yeah. What are you going to do in Europe? And this current team, I don't think they can finish it out in Europe. Their defense has been a mess since Philipp Lahm has gone out. Alaba is really nice, but Joshua Kimmich, he's good. Like, he hasn't taken up the leadership role that Philipp Lahm used to take. Boateng, he's hurt so much that he's useless now. And Nicolas Sule is coming up. But like that defense doesn't have the identity required to go really, really far in the Championship League.
Hummels, if he's healthy as well?
Again, like,
they're not deep enough. They're not deep enough in the back line. Like you said,
the
Boateng's injured.
And they're all like, Hummels is slow as shit in his best days, you know?
Yeah.
Like he's a good positional defender, but like this Manuel Neuer can't be saving, you know what I'm saying, your bacon in the Champions League.
Yeah. I wonder if I'm looking at James, like he was a sub in this game. We'll see if that continues.
He's definitely going to play. And they're talking about, like, it was funny before the game started on all these Bundesliga previews. They're showing you like 18 different ways that Germany, like the Bayern, can fucking put out the team, you know, because they have all these players, Tolisso and Thiago and. But I'm like, it doesn't fucking matter if you look at that defense. And Javi Martinez is not getting any younger. He was he was always a slightly above average player, and now they're treating him like he's Xabi Alonso, and that's a big dependency on a player that's really not that special, you know?
Yeah. Sucks for Hoffenheim, man, to get their season started off like that, but that's how it goes.
Hopefully they rally around that and make it happen, because they don't have a lot of time to play with. Julian Nagelsmann, his last season has started. It's official.
That's
He's
right.
leaving.
That is correct. He's leaving like at the end of the month, right? Or something.
No, at the end of the season. He's going to go to be the RB Leipzig coach.
Yeah. That's right. Young dude. All right, man, let's move on. Over to Spain. Interesting.
Can we go back 1 second, though?
Yeah, sure.
Just to say, I just noticed now, Allianz Arena attendance 75,000.
75,000?
Exactly. On to the next now.
Damn, dude. No doubt.
You know, I think only Old Trafford in England has a capacity that matches that.
What's Camp Nou?
85.
Yeah.
No. More. 85 is Real Madrid.
But
Barcelona is 98, I think.
Yeah.
And they're trying to expand it and expand luxury boxes.
100,000 people, man. That's crazy.
Rose Bowl, 125,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, football, top college football. All right, moving along. La Liga. Interesting result here. Barcelona's other team, if you did not know, is Espanyol, and that is the Kings team, correct?
Yes, they have the actual Español de Barcelona, and they have the crown on their badge.
Their badge.
Like we know which side of that divide they lie on.
Well, they were at home against Valencia, and this did not go according to plan.
It depends on whose plan you're talking about.
To the average observer, it's Valencia
Yes.
in particular.
Yes, Valencia's system, though, as we remember talking from last season, two things. It's very precarious because they have been putting out a lot of results where they've been dominated on the statistical front, that they'll pull off a 1-0 Dani Parejo penalty or whatever. Secondly, Espanyol is starting off the season looking really, really good, actually. And Valencia, the problem with teams like Valencia and Sevilla in terms of the season starting is that they always finish off the season nicely, and they have so much talent that all their players are unsettled. Like Dani Parejo, there was interest from Barcelona. They were talking about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, they re-signed Jeffrey Kondogbia, but at the same time, Guedes, because they just now today agreed the deal to sign him, he doesn't qualify. So like, their teams, they're at a size of club like that. Their teams are not ready when the season starts. If you remember Nice's last season,
Yes.
the same concept. And when Piccini, or Piccini, whatever the fuck his name is, gets a red card and gets bounced, makes an error to lead to a fucking goal early, then you're just, no. Esteban Granero fucks you up. Esteban Granero is a long time Argentine.
It's a nice free kick, though.
Oh, you know that Esteban Granero at one point was a Real Madrid player. Like, he's a...
Yeah, I remember the name.
Yeah, he's a known malcontent that, like, I think he's like a bit of a locker room cancer kind of player.
The VAR upheld that.
Well,
Just continue that narrative.
But he fucked him up, and Espanyol is actually looking really nice. This was a very entertaining game. If you look at like total shots, they did 19-16. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And that's what I was like. This felt like a much more free flowing open game than Valencia would have liked.
Yes, especially when they got dribbled past like 11 times to their 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, Espanyol came to play. They hosted that. Like, they were the home team. They actually put their identity on that game, and Valencia could never get behind it, and that was nice to watch.
Including last season, this is 11 straight games for Espanyol without a loss. Valencia has not conceded a goal in this meeting in 3 games until this game.
Can I give you one piece of information that you might find interesting? I looked at the dribble stats per player, right? And Hermoso, the fucking central defender for Espanyol, had 3. He dribbled past 3 fucking players. This gives you an idea of the kind of football the coach is trying to play, you know? Yeah. The holding midfielder, Roca, he had 4 dribble past players. Like, that's what Pogba and the guys are supposed to be doing, and the Espanyol is making it happen. It's pretty fucking dope to watch. You know?
That makes the Barcelona derby seem a little tasty this year.
Oh, that shit is always tasty because they just like fight anyways.
Yeah,
but like it's gonna be football tasty too. I get what you're saying.
Yep. Either way, man, how do you feel about the man of the match here?
Esteban
Granero, yeah. He had
TVG. Esteban Granero.
He had good defensive stats in this game too.
Yeah,
he did a little bit of everything in this
Hit us
game.
with some numbers.
Oh,
shit.
Yeah, I wish I had them right at my fingertips, but that won't take but a second. Yeah, but
dude, he had 4 key passes though. Like, if you look at it, like, he was all over the ball. Like, for playing against such a supposed stronger team, you know, he blocked 2 shots. He's running back. He's hustling. He's got
clearance off
the line. He has a goal. Like, Sergio Garcia, who's fucking old as fuck, he hit the crossbar. Yeah. This is a fucking game.
He's doing everything. Yeah. Thank you for grabbing those stats so fast. Esteban Granero, shout out. Word up. We're gonna move along. Serie A, which is seeming like the shit this year. We already said be hyped for it. Ronaldo brought a lot of hype, but it's not just Ronaldo, man.
At the very least, like, that's the hipster league of the season.
Yes. ESPN Plus, baby, $5 a month.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be the best. Like, That's gonna be the best $5 a month.
Yeah,
like it's awesome just to watch Ronaldo get frustrated and then force himself to celebrate when somebody scores off his missed kick. Like that in itself is worth $5. Like this weekend, I watched Juventus score a goal and Ronaldo put his hand up in frustration and then pretend he was putting it up in celebration because he totally miskicked the ball and he actually gets the fucking fantasy point assist for it.
Really? Oh,
like on fantasy, yeah,
Little did
because
he
like
know.
but his fantasy was to score it.
So the game we're looking at here is Napoli hosting AC Milan, and this is Ancelotti against his former team. It's kind of went to script, but this was an exciting game.
Did not go to script at the fuck all.
Statistically, I was saying. But
Oh
yes.
yeah. But like you get there and you're like, okay, Napoli home team, stronger team. Still a little unsure of where the Ancelotti reign is gonna be. AC Milan jump down their throats with Giacomo Benaventura.
Yeah.
The man they call Jack. He fucking fucks them up with a 15th minute volley, which is spectacolare, fantastico, and all the other adjectivos that they have in Italy.
Yes, you need to look that joint up.
Yes, it will be tweeted tonight off of Diving for Glory.
So AC go up 2-0.
Yes, they go in to have 1-0 up.
Yep.
They come back and fuck them up one more time. Calabria hits them up,
Calabria.
and it's 2-0. And you're thinking, fuck, this is almost a changing of the guard. The Sarri era is finished, and Napoli is on their way down. Rino Gattuso is bringing AC Milan back, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, man.
Nah.
Pete, we don't know what the fuck, Zelensky. He had fucking plans. This fucking Polish fuck is a spectacular player, by the way.
And he brought it back.
And he brought it the fuck back.
Brought it back, selector. Ponda replay.
Ease up.
With the brace.
Yes, with a fucking 14-minute brace. He 53rd and 67th minute took it. The second goal, AC Milan goalkeeper should have done better with, but that's not the point. And the tie demoralized AC Milan so much and got Napoli so hyped that they went on to 80th minute, bring on Dries Mertens for a goal.
Hell yeah.
With yeah. But if you look at Zelensky, with everything that was unsure, Carlo Ancelotti, I think, did not know a lot about him at the beginning of the season. So he's moving fucking who's the dude with the mohawk all over the place, trying to play him in Jorginho's position, Bosnian cat. Anyways, this dude comes on and he is the opposite of a Tiemo Bakayoko, you know? Tiemo Bakayoko is a fucking retard. Gennaro Gattuso came out after the game and said he needs a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? So, it was... Last week they beat Lazio 2-1 after Lazio had gone ahead.
Yep. Fighting back here.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, so what does this game tell you about either of these teams at the moment? Anything stand out for you? This is AC's opening game, right? Because they missed last week's game.
For their opening game, AC Milan did a really good job.
Look organized. I mean,
they
outside
look
of
organized. I think that Rino Gattuso is low-key doing a very good job out there. Like, even if you look at the end of last season, they were looking like they were turning around, getting rid of Andre Silva to Sevilla, where he's performing, but like he wasn't doing shit, and they had to accommodate him based on his the amount they paid to get him. Like getting rid of that, bringing in more players, and stabilizing the team a little bit. I think AC Milan is looking really good. The Carlo Ancelotti at Napoli experiment, I do not know. I do not.
Yeah,
this told me
6
nothing
points
about it.
out of
And I
6,
think when I was talking about like the changing of the guard, I think I still. Like this was a glimpse of what's to come. I think Napoli to this time fought and got their way out of it. But I don't know. I think they might be on the downturn, and AC Milan is on the upturn.
That would be nice. Bakayoko making a
Marek
an
Hamsik.
appearance in this game. Hamsik, that was the guy with the mohawk. Yep. Word up. So as mentioned, Napoli gets all 3 points here, so they are undefeated in their first 2 games. AC lose on their first game out. Who's your man of the match?
Man of the match has to be, to me, Piotr.
Yeah.
Zelensky, who brings them back from 2-0 down, ties the game, and gets subbed at the 72nd minute. But like, it was pretty awesome.
I had Allen, man. He's one of those another all around dudes, man. Had an assist, 4 out of 4 dribbles, 5 key passes to 14 out of 23 duels, a block shot, interception, 6 tackles. Yeah, dribble pass 4 times, but
I mean, the position he plays, that's very little, like, over the course of the whole fucking game.
Yeah.
And AC Milan has a bunch of midfielders, so it's gonna be somebody dribbling past you.
Yeah. Nah, he was nice though. Word up. That is going to be our back 4, and we are going to move along.
Oh yeah, by the way, what's up, Higuain? Pipita, where are you? We were missing you again.
Dude, Higuain was awful.
I know, that's why I'm asking where he was. Because he didn't show up. That's why we put out the APP.
Like, awful, son.
It was a big game. Yes, he was awful. We know this. He Higuained the moment.
Dude. All right, man. Let's get into some EPL action, EPL review. That's our first midfielder. Setting it off from the back. Got Wolves hosting Manchester City.
And host them they did.
Man, they hosted a hand.
Next time
a
Manchester
hand
City
party.
drops any fucking points, that's going to be in the defensive 4. We are giving you a pass on this one. But if it was any other big team dropping points at Wolves, we're bringing them
to a newly promoted team.
to a newly promoted team. But Wolves ball out, and
they look nice, man. I won't.
Wolves and Fulham are newly promoted teams that are not stocked like they're newly promoted teams. Wolves is Pedro Mendes team, and Jorge Mendes team. He's basically running the team. He's a super agent, and he just dumps a bunch of his players. So they have a lot of Portuguese cats.
Portugal connection, right?
Yeah, they're
the coaches Portuguese as well.
Yes, yeah, he is. I don't know what the fuck his name was. I'm like,
he looked like Furious Styles from Boys in the Hood, about 20 years more of age.
Right.
I forgot his name, but anyway, man, this was still a pretty fun game.
It was still like it's
Wolves had their chances, man. Like Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves. Fuck, it was not still a pretty good game. It was a fucking amazing game. Like.
Whatever, man.
People have been worried that the league won't be fun to watch whenever it's Manchester City games because they're just supposed to sweep people away, and it didn't happen. That in itself makes it a fucking spectacular event.
Well, speaking of VAR, there was none in this game.
Man, they need to stop diving.
Well, my man dove into the goal to open it up for Wolves with his right hand.
Hey. Do what you do.
I mean, like, I saw it when I didn't even see it. Like, you could tell. I was like, well, that couldn't have hit anything but his hand.
Yeah, man. So I expect City to put 6 on them, so I thought that was just, okay, that's their goal. That's going to piss Manchester City off, and then now they're going to fucking fuck them up. But no, and that made it fun. So fuck a VAR.
And they missed a penalty on City as well. And they fouled David Silva in the box.
Yeah, I don't think that was a missed penalty. Hey man, I would like to move on to like a bigger team like Watford that is currently not dropped any points, please.
You'll have to hold on that, man. We'll have to address the historical team of Arsenal hosting West Ham.
Yeah. That was actually a decent game. West Ham.
Unai Emery's first victory. West Ham opened this scoring.
Somebody had to have a first victory in that game because they were both owned too.
But West Ham opened his scoring up, and then Arsenal responded here.
Yes, and thank you, Marko Arnautovic, for scoring. You're on my fantasy team.
Arsenal, it's not that impressive though. Still,
I think that West Ham could have got more out of it if Arnautovic didn't pull up too, and Aubameyang has not settled into this team to the point where, when Arsenal looked the best in this game, when Lacazette came on, and everybody's saying, why don't they play them as a 2-striker system? Why don't they bench Lacazette for a game? If he's not going to play both strikers, then
bench Aubameyang.
I mean, bench Aubameyang.
Yeah, see what he does. See what he does by himself.
I mean, and he's not going to play 38 games anyway. So, like, this kid's movement, it looks like he's had a summer where he really worked hard. And I think Lacazette needs more time on this team.
Didn't look like it that last week. But this week, much better. Bournemouth, Everton.
But what I'm saying is he still last week looked better than Aubameyang's performance.
I agree. Well, I don't know, man.
Aubameyang missed
the game.
2 sitters. He basically
Lacazette, gave away the whole game at the end.
Oh yeah, but what I'm saying is like the movement offensively, but like
I
this newfound internet age soccer watching of always finding who gave up that last goal and going and finding blame. I don't get it. It's about establishing a style of play and executing it. Like somebody's gonna get fucked up when a winning goal is scored.
True.
So if we're doing that,
you kick it to the guy and then get your ankle broke.
I mean,
it's kind of
no. He did get abused, but what I'm saying is it was more attitude of the whole team that I saw in that play. Is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. How mentally weak they are, like all of them. And that is what we wanted an imprint on to identify Lacazette or one person and say this. I think is like addressing the symptom as opposed to the actual disease. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
But yeah, Lacazette got fucking used on that.
Yes. Moving along, Bournemouth, Everton, deuce. Richarlison, after a wonderful 2 games, decides to add a red card to his Everton resume.
Just in case everybody was wondering why, Richarlison, why did not the big teams pick him up? He scored in 2 straight games. Because he's a fucking nutter.
Hey, 21, wild dude.
But yeah, it happens, and I'm glad it did happen because Bournemouth came out and it became a game. It was a fun 2-2.
Huddersfield hosting Cardiff, 0-0. Relegation battle.
Yeah, they're both going down, so I don't care.
0-0. What the fuck are we going to talk about? Southampton, Leicester City. Leicester City with all 3 points here, 2-1.
With all 3 points, while Jamie Vardy is out in suspension.
Southampton going to be struggling again, methinks.
Yeah, methinks you're right. You can't have a fucking yard sale every week and wonder why you don't have furniture in your house.
Pretty much. Moving along, Liverpool, Brighton, showing Mourinho how it's done. 1-0.
Yeah, man.
Liverpool.
You know what they say? Sometimes it's an ugly game, but somebody got to win the ugly games too. And Liverpool, moment of brilliance between the 3 forwards, gets 1 goal. Mo Salah to Firmino, Firmino to... Sadio Mane to Mo Salah, to Firmino, Firmino to Mo Salah finish 1-0. We don't need anything more because we have Virgil van Dijk as a defender.
Yeah. Damn,
you got kind of sad there.
Yeah, man. Who would have thought we'd ever say this about fuck ass Liverpool?
Hey, it was impressive because you can't impress all the time. And Liverpool's issue last year was that on the games where they didn't impress, they didn't win. Yep. And this was a good thing to see, more so than the games where they romp and you're like, oh my God, Liverpool is nice. This was more telling to me. Yep. They seem like a more mature...
1-0s, man. When the team is like, a top team is getting those 1-0s, that's when you know they're like that.
That you're mature, ready to actually...
challenge for some shit. Yep. Sunday starts off with Watford hosting Crystal Palace. 2-1 Watford. Undefeated Watford.
Yes. Undefeated Watford based on a weak start and very unlucky Crystal Palace, who has played really good even in the game against Liverpool last week until the Liverpool actually opened the floodgates. They were balling. Zaha's doing his thing, but the momentum of actually winning 2 games coming in really worked for Watford, who played bad and won. Troy Deeney in the post-game interview talked about how bad they were in their win. Mr. Talk Smack Troy Deeney, you know what I'm saying?
In a team that's probably gunning for 40 points, they got 9 already. That's
boom.
Like
that's
huge.
What I'm saying. Like, and small teams don't win games that they're not playing well.
Yeah.
So big up yourself, you know.
Yep. Newcastle hosting Chelsea. Chelsea with the 2-1.
Game of the week.
Difficult.
Game of the week in the league.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why didn't we cover that?
Only because it was game of the week for very unentertaining reasons. Rafa Benitez showed motherfuckers how you park a fucking bus.
Yeah, for real.
Like, he was like, "Oh, you think that Mourinho is outdated because he plays defensive? No, I'll show you how to play defensive. He's outdated because he's just outdated."
Yeah, he's like,
he
nah.
put everybody behind and killed that game up. And if it wasn't for DeAndre Yedlin, America's finest, fucking up their efforts, they would have at least got a point out of that game.
82% possession for Chelsea.
Yeah, but it was a lot of laterals. Like, they couldn't open them up.
No, I understand. I'm just saying, like, you rarely see 80%. 70s.
No, Rafa's happy because the less time his players have on the ball, the less they're gonna fuck up. When they don't, and they're just playing exactly what he told them to do. They're getting spacing and all that. When they get the ball, they'll fuck up. So he's happy with this.
37 clearances. 2-1 though. They end up dropping the points. Valiant effort.
I mean, it's been nothing but a valiant effort since Newcastle came back to the Premier League. And a person who actually lost his name and the weight his name carried based on performances at much bigger clubs in the Champions League and stuff is really getting the respect of football fans by what he's doing at Newcastle. Rafa Benitez is one of the top managers in the Premier League.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I agree.
And doing this with that fucking shit owner.
Oh, man, I know what I meant to mention. So people were talking about Arsenal's start or whatever. So Newcastle's first 5 games include Tottenham, Chelsea, I believe they get Cardiff, then they have City, and then they have Arsenal. FA is like, fuck you.
And this
Fuck
also, but this also a symptom of there being more big teams though. A couple of seasons ago, you wouldn't count Tottenham as one of the big games you have. You know, like now there's like 6 or 7 huge teams, and then there's 3 or 4 decent teams. Like the Premier League is getting more talented teams, and it's gonna be tough from beginning to end soon.
So speaking of it being tough, we have last year's upset darling Burnley and this year's upstart Fulham, and this seemed to be a fucking really fun game. 4-2 Fulham.
Really fun game, but can I also first and foremost say, fuck you, Ryan Sessegnon. Your team won 4-2 and you get 1 fantasy point? Like,
you gotta try.
You gotta do something. 1 assist.
Yeah.
Something, dude. Yeah. But Mitrovic in the house. Yep. Newcastle could use him. That's the only thing that they really fucking lack is a decent striker. And nice. Guys, Solomon Rondon, not that guy. So selling a striker whose team got relegated. No, buying a striker whose team got relegated, while at the same time selling the striker that carried the team from the championship. You know, like bringing him in. Yep. Like, what the fuck? Yep. Anyways, I'm confusing myself.
But yeah, man, they go up here. This is a 3-2 game at halftime. So super fun.
It's a romp.
First half, John Michael Seri with the opening goal. You know, and then
he shouldn't even be in Fulham. Like we were discussing last season, how his deal to Barcelona fell through.
Yep.
So everybody's like, "Oh, this Seri guy scored for Fulham," and I'm like, "Haha,
yeah, yeah, Fulham doing things here." All right, man. That was the EPL review. So what we're gonna start doing here, or at least try to start doing, is like look at the other leagues, but we just want to look at like key games from the other leagues around the big 5 leagues around the world: La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, League One. We already did EPL. Some interesting results coming out of La Liga.
No, Belgian Juniper League?
Nah, I was thinking K-League, J-League, really.
Oh, shit, you should have seen Iniesta's assist this weekend that the guy just shanked over the goal. He hit him with a one-on-one by just chipping it over the whole defense, and the guy didn't know what the fuck to do.
He was like, oh. Yep.
That's exactly what he did. With that, he was, oh! I think the guy afterwards like did harikari and killed himself because he was so embarrassed.
Oh, dude. Yeah, Atletico Vallecano. Atletico with the 1-0. Pull all 3 points. Doing what they do. Griezmann with the goal.
Sid Lowe on Guardian described it as Atleti score from a corner. Griezmann. Yeah, no black saves a lot. The end.
Yeah. Done. 3 points on the board.
Yes.
Barcelona away to Valladolid. And this had some controversy as Dembele with the only goal.
Very, very good goal, but it was played on basically a farm. So this team is the last team. I mean, if you look at like a picture of Jordi Alba holding up half of a fucking big chunk of grass, like he's looking under the bed. You know how when you're lifting up under the bed to find a shoe, that's how he's like lifting it up. I'm like, yo, this is ridiculous.
Jimmy Hoffa, son.
This is the last fucking team to get into the Primera, and since they had to play playoffs and everything to get in, they didn't qualify for the top division until June 26th or something. Then, because but what I'm saying is like football hadn't stopped on their field.
Yeah.
So then they get it resorted. No, it's not. You're not even at the current show they had to send it back the first batch, and this was just sorted on Thursday.
Wow.
And they played the youth team on it afterwards, and they were legitimately worried about the condition of the field. But they're a small club with no money, and they had no fucking choice, so they were just like, let's go. And it literally turned into the worst possible outcome because everybody shit on it. Barca also didn't play that well, but they took that opportunity to just talk about the field and how terrible it was. Use it to shit on the league's plans to go to the U.S. They're like, oh, you want to go to the fucking U.S.? Why don't you fucking fix the fields here? That's what Valverde said.
Yeah.
Like that was a huge embarrassment for not Valladolid only, for Spanish La Liga.
That's a great point, actually. That's a great point. Like, you don't watch, like the one thing,
like the NFL has cleared all that before they went to London.
Yep.
Like you're not gonna go and watch a game where like a quarter of the field is coming undone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And then I mean even to the point of well, anyway, we'll get to that later. So
they basically got fucked up because they figured that if they don't take care of their shit, then it'll be a great equalizer and they could get to Barca, and it did kind of work because in the 93rd minute they did have a equalizing goal.
Yeah.
It got taken away due to VAR, but now they're acting like, oh, it was just a mistake, but like they pushed it far. They know how your season started, but you just miscalculated.
Yep.
And it almost worked, to be honest with you.
Almost worked. They got the game in. I know that.
They almost could have got 1 point, whereas usually like there would have been a 5-0, 6-0. So home opener, just 1-0 to Barca. They've got that out of the way.
Yeah.
Barca's not coming there anymore this season.
Yep. Girona hosting Real Madrid in what was an upset game last year, but not this year.
They played very well initially until one really dumb penalty, and then another one that was actually like dumber. And Karim Benzema and Gareth Bale said thank you very much.
Pounced on it, yep.
And Real Madrid actually kind of showed a lot of potency, and Real Madrid is adjusting to life away from Ronaldo faster than Ronaldo is adjusting to life away from Real Madrid. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it's true. 2-3 games in. Yes, moving along, Sevilla hosting Villarreal in what felt like it was going to be a fun game.
It was a fun game. The scoreline doesn't show it, but it was actually a very nice game, and both teams I think are going to be very good this season. But sometimes it's just not going to, like the ball's just not going to go into the net. But that, like, it wasn't one of those bored draws. Like, it was actually a back and forth, you know?
Yep. Anything else you had earmarked for La Liga?
Nah, we're good. Oh, yeah. Alaves pulled off a 0-0 against Real Betis, who still can't get a hold of themselves, but I think it's just growing pains. I just wanted to mention them because we talked in the previews about how they were one of the exciting teams. Like, give them a little chance. They will come around in a month or two when the season actually gets. So look towards teams like that. on the weekend after the international break because they don't have as many internationals, and they might start. They might do a lot more practice. So, yeah, Betis 0-0 against Alaves, but that doesn't mean much.
Okay. Moving along, Serie A. Juventus, Lazio, tough start to the year, losing 2-0 to Juventus, as mentioned a little bit earlier.
Yes, my man Pjanic celebrated his new contract with a beautiful goal.
Nice goal.
Beautiful goal. Actually, Serie A this weekend, that is all there was beautiful goals. All over the fucking place. Everybody, SPAL, Inter, Roma, everything. So, Juventus 2, Lazio 0. Ronaldo is currently the only player in Italy with more than 8 shots taken that hasn't scored a goal. And he has 15 shots taken.
Crazy. He had the slow start last year as well.
He had better chances this year at the beginning than he did last year. His last year's slow start was a lot more worrying to me than this slow start because these got cleared.
New teammates.
And in both games, he's had better chances that he would regularly put away, and the defender just actually did really spectacular clearances. So it's not a worrying one, but it's just funny to talk shit about Ronaldo.
Always enjoyable. What's not enjoyable is Inter, at least for Inter fans, is them drawing with Torino 2-2. That is 2 draws to open up to a loss and a draw.
Yes, and that's going to happen when you have as much turnover as a team like Inter did in this summer. They brought in Raja, Nainggolan, and a bunch of other fucking cats, Asamoah, Keita Balde, all of this. And first off, the head case count on this team is getting kind of high. You can only have a bunch of like off-center guys, you know. And between Nainggolan and they already had Icardi there.
Yep.
That was that. Keita Balde is not exactly the most stable person in the world. Perisic and Mauro Icardi fought last year. Brozovic also on Perisic's side. So I'm like, this team is either going to be really good or they're going to be fucking insane. But watch Inter.
Too many stitches.
Yeah, yes, dude. And that's the thing. They fight in fucking Cruz.
Yeah.
Hey, you got in a fight with Brozovic and Perisic. Stop following him on fucking Instagram.
Brozovic.
Dude, that's such a fucking cool name.
Brozovic, I know.
Yeah, Brozovic. What you call me? Like, you're always ready to fight if your name is Brozovic.
What are you trying to say, son?
So what? Your mom's a bitch. Nah, Brozovic.
Serie A finished off their week with a wonderful game. Roma hosting Atalanta. 3-3.
Atlanta really balled out, but to me what stood out is Mr. Javier Pastore's wicked back heel.
Yeah, crazy goal. Roma fought back. They were down 3-1 in this game and ended up pulling that even to score the point. They're looking pretty fun offensively again.
Yeah,
look a little leaky though.
Interesting side note. Di Francesco, whatever the coach of Roma, broke his hand celebrating the good last goal.
Damn, for real?
His real son. Is a real son. Is a really real son.
He's
fucking
he's
really good coach. Like whenever people are talking about like who would take over at Manchester United or this or that, I'm like, he's one of those of the next generation that I'm really impressed with.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Moving along from Serie A, let's hit Bundesliga opening weekend. There was a couple good, interesting results. One of them being Wolfsburg with the upset over Schalke.
I don't know if I would go all the way upset because Schalke lost a couple of players from their last season's team.
He got a red card in this game too.
Then also the red card. So
Wolfsburg was like damn near relegated.
Oh yeah,
it's still an upset.
This is when they get them though. You know, like how early in the season Hull City was you get got sometimes.
And they got in the 94th minute in this game.
Last season about this time was Schalke against Dortmund, the 4-4 game.
Oh yeah.
Shit. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how it goes, Schalke.
No doubt. Gladbach and Leverkusen. Gladbach with the 2-0.
Too nearly.
Who's that?
2-0, 2-0.
Oh, 2-0. That's a big win for Gladbach against somebody who they're probably going to be positionally battling in the table or whatnot.
Absolutely.
BVB and RB.
But before we get to them, Frankfurt did their business away and beat Freiburg to stay in. Because out of the bigger contending teams, not that Freiburg is that great, but Frankfurt pulled out the 3 points, and they're gonna need them because there's a glut after Bayern Munich.
Word. Bundesliga, yeah, BVB, RB. So 4-1, Dortmund smashes RB.
Smash City.
Yeah, this is not the hugest, this is not the biggest surprise results, just because RB has lost some players here, and Dortmund look to be rounding, actually building some chemistry again.
But Dortmund lost Andre Schürrle, who played a huge part of last season, and Michy Batshuayi, who's not with them anymore, and they just signed, I think it's Paco Alcacer from Barca. So as far as turnover goes, they're not exactly the most stable team either.
True.
So it was impressive to see, but RB Leipzig, even last season, they had fallen off from the season before, and now this season, knowing that your coach is just a sitting duck coach and all that, I don't know how they're going to look coming,
Yeah. Who
knows? I think Nagelsmann wouldn't
so
even...
weird. Why do they do this shit?
I didn't like the announcements, and it was the RB that announced it. I'd fire the fuck out of the spot if get whatever job you want, but I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah,
we still got 2 games against these fuckers.
Yeah, exactly. Ligue 1, Bordeaux and Monaco.
It's pronounced Bordeaux.
It is not.
It is not.
For this one, I know I'm right.
I know. I'll give you a layup.
2-1. Bordeaux with the 92nd minute.
Without a coach.
Without a coach.
Because Gasparier got fired because they sold the player and he went off on the management. And they were trying to hire one unknown man known by the name of Thierry Henry. And just today, he also refused the job offer. So I hope they get a good coach for Guillaume's sake because they're about to go there.
Monaco starting the season slowly here. Marseille and Stade Rennes. Stade Rennes surprisingly making Europe last year.
Just the part of the show where we find out if Roman listens to this show. Your team got a good game, dude. Sorry, you were talking about him last year. He scored a goal. What's up?
Yeah, 2-2. That's a draw. That's a positive result for Stade Rennes and an away game to Marseille.
Absolutely.
Marseille
responded to that by
signing
Kevin
Strootman, right? Yeah. Do something.
This after, did you see
money.
how Balotelli re-upped over at Nice?
Yeah.
Did you see their announcement?
No, what was
He's
it?
like, we're glad to announce that Balotelli will be back. There was some interest from this team in the south, but they're not really real. So he decided, totally gave it to Marseille.
Yes. Is it really real, son? Is it really real?
Yes.
All right, man.
And then they got fucked up this weekend 4-1 also, by the way.
Tough
4-0.
out there, man. It's tough out there.
Yeah, man.
Moving along, man. Champions League playoffs, second leg. So the winners of these matches get into the group stage of the Champions League. Like we mentioned, I believe the draw is this Thursday. I can't say that I know a lot about all these teams, but I sure know some of them. Dynamo Zagreb and hosting Young Boys, and that is 1-1. Young Boys out of Switzerland, I believe.
Yes, Young
weird...
Boys of Bern, but I don't know. It's just the Catholic Church has fucked that up for people.
I always the Young Boys.
Yo, we fucked up some Young Boys today. Yo, you can't say that. Dude. I hope they don't make it, man. Come on, Dynamo Zagreb.
AEK Athens playing against Vidi. Vidi out of Hungary, I think.
Sure, they're about to go back to Hungary. They're down 1-0 right now.
They're down 2-1. They're down 2-1.
On aggregate, right?
Yeah,
that's
on aggregate.
1-0 right now in this game.
Oh, playing right now. No doubt. Thank you for the live updates.
57th minute.
Dynamo Kiev hosting Ajax. Ajax with a 3-1.
And the current 0-0.
So
Ajax going through. That was a funny ass game when Kiev took the lead in Ajax, and they celebrated. And the guy that scored the goal turns around, and you just see a big cup of fucking beer just hit him straight in the side and just drench him.
Woo, yes. Love it. Word up. FC Salzburg hosting Red Star Belgrade. We covered Salzburg last year. They went to the semifinals, I think, of Europa. They
did the thing, yeah. But it wasn't FC Salzburg. It was RB Salzburg that went last year.
There's two of them.
Yeah.
There's two RBs and two Salzburgs.
Hey, there's a bunch of Salzburgs there. Salzburg steaks, all that shit.
Yeah. Shut up, man. Red Star Belgrade, though, they're that team that has that crazy rivalry over in Ukraine. The Ukrainian?
Belgrade is in one of the Yugoslavias.
Croatia.
So Serbia.
One of those.
Serbia.
Yeah. They got the crazy derby.
Yeah, they got Red Star against Dinamo, which is all the Eastern European ex-Soviet teams. That's the big game is Red Star against Dinamo.
Yeah. Nice.
Basically, because there was no real people's team, it's the army team against the police team. This is.
Ah, man, it gets deep on Diving for Glory. PAOK versus Benfica. 1-1 on that.
PAOK Salonika of Greece.
Greece, right?
Yeah. They're one of the not really big Greek teams.
But I've seen their name recently.
Yeah, they're on I guess the Everton level of Greece. You know, no, because the top there's Olympiacos and Panathinaikos, and then after that there's PAOK and all. You know.
Yep. PSV hosting Bate Borisov. 3-2 PSV. Bate. 3-2 PSV.
Boom bye and the Bate boy.
Yeah. That's Smith and West. So Bate Borisov, it's 3-2 PSV.
Yes, and PSV will go through. You can forget about pronouncing that name.
Good. All right, man. That's our last midfield section, man.
Dude, it was Red Bull Salzburg.
I thought so, man. I thought it was only
FC.
one.
It doesn't say FC.
My sources told me FC. I think it's both.
FCRB. Who we play FCRBS?
All right, man. We're gonna wrap this show up. Our last three sections. Our last forward section. Let's talk about La Liga real quick. They want to have a game in the USA, a league game in the USA. They said definitely it'll have to include Barcelona, Real Madrid, or Atletico, Sevilla, or some shit like that. And
the rumor was that Barcelona Betis was going to be here this season in Miami.
Oh, wow. I just can't. What do you think?
I
First
think
of all,
ridiculous.
good idea?
No.
Yeah? Why?
I don't like if a guy from America wants to watch a Spanish league game, he can go to Spain, have a vacation, enjoy yourself. Why the fuck should the customers? I don't like the NFL going to England. I don't like this kind of shit. Just stay where you are and just do it good. And the Spanish league, just why don't you tell us in advance when the King's Cup final is? What time is next week's games? I don't think you're ready to take things out of the country and go international yet. You are a fucking bunch of dumbasses in fucking La Liga offices.
Agreed.
And now you're gonna have the logistics of actually moving a game to America. I wouldn't even understand if the Premier League was gonna do it because they're so on point with a lot of their shit. You know?
Yep.
These are a fucking bunch of idiots.
And they've already been working with NFL teams and shit like that. They got ties.
There's established ties. This is a long time. And they came up with the idea and they were like, oh, this season we might go to I'm like, what the fuck?
For 15 years.
Yeah, but what's the plan?
Yeah. It just felt very, like you said, very unnecessary. I get the idea, but if you're not, I don't know. Something about it doesn't feel right. A team loses a home game.
What point of the season? You don't.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, like, I'm flying across the Atlantic, and then next week I gotta have just a regular
League or
game like
something, or
everybody else.
whatever,
Like,
yeah.
even without, like, you come back from travel, that's a lost day of training, like, both directions, jet lag. It's just unnecessary.
So, in this scenario, who benefits the most here? Why is this happening? Who actually really benefits? Would the league benefit ultimately?
The United States fan, I mean, ultimately the league will benefit for anything that comes to the United States. So, but at what cost is what I'm saying? They'll benefit money-wise, yes, but you're already making a lot of money. Like, you have, like, Messi and all of them, you have Real Madrid and Barca as brands, you know, and a lot of other very worldwide recognized brands. There is no reason for it. It's such, La Liga is, and soccer generally is at a place right now that if you watch games, what's on your screen in the fans? It's a bunch of Chinese guys, a bunch of Africans from all over the world.
But let's look at it from, you know, the rhetoric that's been coming out of La Liga over the past few years, especially with the Neymar sale, especially with the with the way the Premier League's throwing money around, and they look at their shit like our two biggest teams are never going to be bought by, you know, oil states, basically. Like, our two teams are never going to be able to operate like that, and they know that, and so they're making this play as almost like an ante up. Like, all right, we need to do something that's going to further our.
I think
United
that
States
the two
is
biggest teams,
third biggest market in the
being
world,
Barca and Real Madrid, are actually financially in a much better position than being owned by oil states, because they have enough banks in their pocket that it doesn't matter what number debt they tell you, they will never get it called in. They laugh at the kind of debts that Manchester United and shit see, because they have a built-in system where they basically, Real Madrid owns the city of Madrid, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Barcelona the same with the whole Catalan state. You know, like, these guys don't need the oil money. Like, that if you're making a move based on that, then I don't understand it, because they have everything they need. Neymar got sold because he was a fucking. The guy that bought him is in jail right now.
Yeah,
Like, it wasn't because there was some guy with some money.
But I mean, I guess I'm feeling like this is a move where they're like, we want to advance ourselves in this market ahead of everybody else.
You can't agree with me that they're just such short-sighted idiots fucking 3 minutes ago and now give them this beautiful plan. Like, you're giving them too much credit. The Americans are like, yo, we're gonna give you some money if you play a game here. They're like, okay.
And I don't know, man. I mean,
what about the Spanish Football Federation would make you think that there's this great plan going on?
Like
Nothing about they're idiots.
Fear.
They don't
Fear
even
leads
agree
you
with.
Fear makes you do dumb shit.
I
They're
don't
scared.
see any fear.
Yeah.
First off, I don't see any of that. Secondly, like, you are underestimating the arrogance of Real Madrid and Barcelona to begin with. Like, they're not even paying attention to this shit. Like, they have a dominance in their sphere so big that, like.
So
You're telling me that these two teams are afraid of teams that have never ever won anything?
About these two teams. I'm talking about the La Liga, chief. I'm talking about La Liga as an
They're looking at these big oil states as opportunities to just unload guys for, like, big prices right now. Like, they're not. They affect very little of the, like, that. Like, because it's not like the whole league gets better. It's one team here and one team there.
I'm just going off the rhetoric that's come out of La Liga, especially from their chief over the past few years regarding this particular topic.
Who is a complete idiot that has been getting into it about the Inter?
Like, not saying he's not.
It's like saying Maradona said something and, like, we're having a serious discussion like he's worth something. Like, this guy is a complete jackass, buffoon at every turn.
I mean, and that's cool, but we know that he didn't sit right there. I mean, I agree. And that's why I'm bringing him up, because he's dumb enough to be like, oh man, we need to do something. We need to do some dumbass shit, like go to fucking United States and start playing regular season games.
Okay.
Because
he might do that, yeah. But, like, I think in terms of the leadership of Real Madrid and Barcelona, they're very happy with their positioning.
So
in
my
the
question,
larger scheme of things right now.
My last question becomes: do you think the players' opposition to this could succeed? Do you think they can stop this?
Yes.
I think so too.
I think very much so. And
they striked a couple years ago, didn't they?
Yes, and this is one that they will have the full backing of everybody in the country, because nobody wants to fucking lose a game.
It was a pretty dumb idea, man.
Exactly.
And I agree. I don't like the NFL playing in Europe. It's just pointless, man. I mean, I don't know, but that I guess
And
I guess it's not Europe. They're in Britain.
It doesn't
And-
matter. It is Europe, but like the point I'm trying to say is every team in the NFL, for example, has 8 home games and 8 away games. And I like the universality of that when it comes to the end of the season and your seasons get judged. When you have somebody in your conference that just happened to go to fucking London and then had a game the week after and loses, it's not fair. Like, okay, Barcelona
No, I
will come
agree.
here, make you some money, and fuck up somebody, right?
No, I agree.
How about the other team? Like, it's going to take them longer to recover because they only have a starting 11. They don't have a bench,
And I think my only point about the NFL thing is that they are actually being successful, and I think I'm not sure NFL could be successful in Europe as much as it is successful in Britain because Britain is so culturally similar to us. So and I think and so they are making the business inroads that they want to over there. Like NFL gets fucking followed.
I get
in
that.
Britain.
And the NBA is doing that now too. The infamous
Mexico, they're playing in Mexico and all that.
When they went to play a preseason game in London, Ski Mask Joe spent like, what was it, 10,000 pounds at the bar or something, and they're like, whoa.
Who was it?
Ski Mask Joe Johnson.
Oh.
Because he got the big deal. He had to wear a ski mask to get it.
To get it? Shut up, man.
100 million.
100 million. All right, man. Anyway, La Liga in the USA. Dumb idea. Awards. Goal of the week goes to
Javier Pastore.
with the back heel.
Back heel, no
Caught-
look.
Caught it out the air. Like,
Yes, and hit off the post. Like, that was absolute magnificence and a man at the top of his peak at that moment.
dude of the week goes to
Dude of the week, we shall give this week to Karim Benzema, who has had 2 goals when everybody thought that since Ronaldo went, he would never score. Yes, one of them was a fucking penalty, but let's give a Real Madrid player an award.
Jose Mourinho.
So glad we don't have video.
When he wanted the new striker. When he wanted the new striker, have you heard that comment about Benzema? So when I think he said something along the lines. He's like, when I want to go hunting, I want with like a dog, not a kitten. Something along those
Nobody
lines.
has accused Karim Benzema of being a kitten at any point. If Mourinho does, his daughter might go missing. Karim Benzema, you are the dude of the week every week for me. Don't do anything to me.
Oh man. Word up, man. Upcoming next week, EPL. Couple, I think these are interesting games. Burnley hosting United.
The game itself is not going to be
No, it's
interesting
not.
because it's going to actually be a pain to
But
watch.
it's all about the narrative in that
But-
game.
But we're going to all sit down and watch it
Yeah.
because we know what the fuck it's going to mean.
Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction.
He has so many million reasons to just fucking piss him off enough to fucking fire
Oh
him.
man, I've actually treated one of my jobs just like that. So I feel you, son. I feel you, Jose.
Get it.
Watford hosting Tottenham. Top of the table battle.
Top of the table clash, lads. Cocks out. I think it's going to be a fun game just because both teams are not afraid to mix it up, and it's going to be a physical game.
Physical game.
Yeah, it's
Fuck
going to be a game for men. Like, this is not going to be for the boys.
No bates.
No, but there's no.
Awful, man. La Liga.
Yes, Diving for Glory does not
excuse me.
endorse these opinions.
No, this is not our real opinion.
Yes, it is not at all. And Bate, you're awesome, guys. Do your thing. You're better than young boys.
Off the chain over here, Serie A, man. AC Milan does not get a break. They host Roma on Friday. Woo.
Oh yeah, and Roma itself, they just came off a hard-fought draw, so it's
Calling
gonna be
to work.
super fun.
Go to the bar early.
Yes, yes.
That sounds like what AC Roma.
Friday afternoon, your Labor Day weekend is
There's
going to
another
get started
there's
with
another
some
game. on
fire.
this week. Yeah. La Liga. The interesting game for me is Betis hosting Sevilla.
Yes, Andalusian derby, Betis versus Sevilla. No, Betis of Sevilla versus Sevilla of Sevilla. and they hate each other. It's going to be beautiful. They both play really nice soccer. So, Anioy, as they say in Spain.
Okay. Ligue 1, guys, 2 Nice games. Lyon.
Nice and smooth?
Nice and smooth. Lyon. Lyon hosting Nice. We gotta hurry up and wrap this up, man. Lyon hosting Nice.
It's gonna be spectacular, man. Like Lyon beat the team that upset everybody, Reims or whatever, this weekend with Fakir on the bench. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, Fakir, I noticed that he did not play. Monaco, Marseille. That's also is on Friday.
Oh fuck, that's gonna be a lot of.
That's a
good
lie. Lyon is. I'm lying like Lyon. Lyon, Nice is Friday. Monaco, Marseille is Sunday.
All right. So fuck. I wish it was the other way around because the Lyon Nice game is the one I want to watch, and it's at the same time as the Italy game. So that fucking sucks.
Ah, yeah. Word up. Tune in next week for our pre-international break episode, which we will not be talking about international break at all. And that match is in the books. Diving for Glory, Season 2, Episode 4. Let's go. As always, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate anyone who takes the time to check us out. Don't forget Diving for Glory posts every Monday on iTunes, YouTube, and divingforglory.com. Please hit subscribe. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Diving for Glory. Until next week, Corsiola, Solomon.
We out.
Out.
Diving.
What do you think it's called?
Diving.
There's nothing more to say.
Diving.
Glory.